We have an incredibly special guest on the podcast today, a former professor, a historian, an author, and one of the greatest intellectual minds in the modern Republican movement, Larry Schweikart. Larry, thank you so much for coming on to the show today. The passion, the willingness to oust political leaders, and this strong and yearning desire for change, it seems in many ways to be a unique phenomenon to the Trump movement. But are there any other movements throughout American history or worldwide history? I know you have studied a lot about this, that you can compare the MAGA movement to, or the same sort of ideas in terms of either policy or the way in which the people that are pushing the MAGA ideas act and with the passion that they do have?
Well, I think there might be two. If you look at the populist movement in the late 1800s, about 1888 to on to about 1900, they had the same fervency and they had the same dedication to issues. The populist problem was, again, the third party problem. They could never come close enough to 50% that their people would stick with them. And so they eventually peeled off and joined the Democrat Party. And, William Jennings Bryan in 1896 was endorsed by the Populist Party because he was more of a populist than anyone in the Populist Party. And that was kind of the end of them. Another example of this is kind of the anti-war movement in the 1960s and the left in the 1960s. They kept trying to run their candidates, Bobby Kennedy, Eugene McCarthy, George McGovern, and these people, Kennedy was assassinated, McCarthy was beat, McGovern was crushed, but they learned from that they needed to take over the levers of power within the party. And sure enough, by the 1980s, after Carter, the far left had a big toehold inside the modern day Democratic Party. And Clinton navigated that successfully, but he was the last one to do so.